تعد جامعة Indian Institute of Technology المعروفة ب ITT حلم الكثيرين عبر أنحاء الهند وخارجها بأفرعها المنتشرة في كل مكان ونظامها التعليم المتقدم المتجدد. تمتلك المعاهد المندرجة تحتها أفضل الإمكانيات التعليمية من حيث الأساتذة ومرافق التدريس. من المعلومات المثيرة حول هذه المعاهد أنها في بداياتها لم يكن لديها امتحان للقبول، وأن الطلاب تم قبولهم من المعاهد على أساس سجلهم الأكاديمي. الدفعة الأولى من الخريجين من المعاهد التعليمية الدولية تتألف من الذكور فقط، لذا ففي بادرة تعد هي الأولى من نوعها أصدر الكونغرس الأمريكي قرار في 2005 عن مجلس النواب يقر فيه بالإسهام الكبير الذي تقدمه جامعة Indian Institute of Technology في مجال البحث والابتكار. في الواقع الجامعة الأجنبية الوحيدة التي يشيد بها الكونغرس الأمريكي. لديهم إمكانية الوصول المباشر إلى دورة إيغونا. الجامعة المفتوحة الأخرى هي أيضا تشهد تضخما في الحجم حتى في المناطق الصغيرة أو المناطق النائية، حيث استقطبت جامعة نادالا المفتوحة في بيهارا وهي منطقة في الهند وأقلها تعليما من 1500 إلى 40,000 في العقد الماضي. وخلال تواجدي في دلهي قررت أن أزور هذا المعلم الكبير المحلي والعالمي، أحد الجامعات التعليمية المتخصصة في مجال العلوم والتكنولوجيا والتي تعد من الجامعات البارزة في جميع أنحاء الهند والعالم أيضا، إلى درجة أن أثنى عليها الكونغرس الأمريكي في بادرة هي الأولى من نوعها. أحد أوجه الهند الحضارية ومعلم يفتخرون فيه الهنود محليا ودوليا، جامعة الهند للتكنولوجيا Indian Institute of Technology. هذه الجامعة غيرت مفهوم صناعة التكنولوجيا محليا وعالميا. الكثير من الشركات السوشيال ميديا وشركات التكنولوجيا لها تواجد وحضور كبير في هذا المكان، فقط أن يختاروا طلاب ينقلونهم وينقلون صناعة السوشيال ميديا وصناعة التكنولوجيا إلى عالم ثاني وإلى مكان مختلف تماما. يقال بأن 20% من خريجين هذه الجامعة على طول يلقون لهم وظائف في أوروبا وفي أمريكا أيضا. هذه الجامعة بدأ بنيانها وتأسست في سنة 1951 لتصبح أحد أجمل الجامعات في العالم وأقواها. الهند إذا رجعنا إلى التسعينيات كان في تعطش لصناعة التكنولوجيا، إلى أن قررت الولايات المتحدة وأمريكا بأن يستعينون بخبرات خارجية، فكان الطلب عليها بشكل كبير إلى أن غيرت مفهوم هذه الصناعة تماما. واليوم الشركات هذه الكبيرة تعتمد على الخريجين هذه الجامعة بشكل كبير، فيها حوالي 9000 متخرج منها سنويا، واللي يسافر برا ويشوفون لهم وظائف خارجية هم أكثر من 2000 شخص عشان يغيرون هذه الصناعة الجميلة. Dr. Rowe, thank you so much for having me here. I'm always wanted to discover IIT. It's beautiful. That's produced a lot of students, a lot of knowledge that's helped to change the entire world. If you see the big companies now, there is a lot of IIT graduates from there. What's the secret behind it?
So one thing is, see, we are a very big country, and we have a large number of students who want to aspire to be engineers, and so it's almost like 1.5 million people take a test, and there is only a small percentage of people who actually make it to IITs. So it's a very tough examinations, and if you want to come to an institute like IIT Delhi, which is ranked #1, so you have to be like best in the country.
Okay, talking about ranking #1 nationally, right? Internationally, I heard it's ranking #4, #3 is competing with international schools.
See, international rankings in terms of research, we are still a little far from the big universities of the world. But when it comes to undergraduate education, when it comes to, let's say, entrepreneurial activities, we are doing pretty well. If you look at very recent rankings of unicorns, so the IIT system is ranked fourth best in the world in terms of producing the billionaires in last 10 years.
So, Doctor, we were talking previously about you've been to many schools, Stanford and other international schools around the world. How do you see the difference between your school? How do you teach your students the difference between you and the foreign universities?
So, there are many things which are actually common between the two. Because if you look at any big school in, let's say, US or Europe or a IITs in India, one of the common themes is that you want to produce leaders, leaders in engineering, leaders in technology, leaders in academics, and that's what is a common thing. But the Indian system is slightly different because you also need to look at the needs of the India. So the students have to be trained somewhat differently than many other college engineering students.
Engineering. It's very interesting. If you see the 90s, there was a huge demand on IT in general in the world, especially in the United States and Europe. And then the graduate student from that countries, from US and Europe, did not meet. It wasn't enough for the student. So therefore, they tried to find another schools around the world globally. So they found Indian Institute of Technology, and according to my reading, I read that 20% at that time until the 20s they go abroad. What do you say about this?
So that's true. Like we used to have a large number of students who used to go abroad to do master studies and for the best jobs in the world. And IITs have been training such students for almost 50 years. And you will find any major engineering organization or a information technology or let's say a major school, you would find an IIT alumni either as a faculty or a, let's say, CEO or let's say as a vice president. Because our training process has been to prepare leaders who can actually take up leadership position wherever they are, whether it's India or the world.
You know, Professor, I'm very excited to see your recipe at your classroom. How do you teach your kids? Can we see the classroom?
Sure, we can actually go to the classroom.
I'm very excited. So, Professor, tell me about your material. How heavy do you teach your students?
So, we have different type of courses. There are some courses which are like big classes, like class of 400 students. So, there the methodology is very different than other courses like product design courses. So, these classes are small, where we use different ways of teaching. One is, of course, the classroom teaching. Second is laboratories. We also give them an opportunity to connect with real world, and also experiential learning by doing. So it's a combination of multiple methods which actually makes them a good engineer.
So we discussed just a little bit ago that students from these halls, they had a big hand to change the IT system globally around the world in the big companies, in many places. What makes students coming from this school and graduating from this school so intelligent? What do you think? Because it was very challenging. You have 1.5 million admission and you accept only 850 students, or it's because it's very hard to make middle life in India. What's the most challenge for them?
So one thing is that IITs have actually made their own brand over a period of last 50 years. And secondly, as you said, among the millions of students who take up admission to IIT, only a few are selected. For example, in IIT Delhi, we have 850 students who are admitted to undergraduate programs. So one thing is that it's a pretty tough competition, And it's also for many families and students aspirational to be a part of IIT system. And because the world values this brand and some of the biggest companies come to recruit students from here, so all that actually makes pretty challenging for students to get into IIT.
So, Professor, I've been through India. You have thousands of language across India. You have thousands of religion. You have thousands of mentality, of philosophy. The diversity in India is absolutely incredible. How do you deal with them if you have like a student from every single region combined to the school?
Yeah, so first thing is when it comes to engineering education, the medium of instruction is English. So as far as the language of instruction is concerned, we don't have to really deal with much. But I think students come from varied socio-cultural background, and I think they mix very well. And it's also an important opportunity for students to know other cultures and basically work with them, because that's an important aspect of a personality. And also, once you become an engineer, you have to work in a multidisciplinary team with very diverse people. So you are prepared in your university for your future profession.
Do you think this school will change the world? I mean, the future of India?
It is true. In a way, it is changing because we are now large number of IITs. We also have many other institutes like National Institutes of Technology. These are all federally funded, and they actually provide a large pool of engineering graduates for all types of work.
من أكثر شيء يبهرني الصراحة في هذه الجامعة بين 1,500,000 شخص يقدم على هذه الجامعة فقط 850 شخص يقبلون في هذه الجامعة، يأخذون النخبة من هذا الرقم الهائل الكبير. لذلك تعتبر هذه الجامعة Indian Institute of Technology أحد أرقى الجامعات في العالم وأرقى جامعة في شبه القارة الهندية. Professor, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
أرشد من واحد من الملايين الطلاب اللي تم قبولهم في جامعة IIT. So أرشد, how do you feel that you have been accepted to IIT?
Yeah, so I was really happy when I got the admission to IIT Delhi. So I was really fortunate enough to be one in among thousands who got admission in IIT Delhi. And then we have this, I was really happy to enjoy the state-of-the-art facilities here, and the professors here are really good. I was really fortunate to be here. Yeah.
You know, أنا شفت أمانة الكثير من الشركات الأمريكية الأوروبية في جامعة IIT يبحثون عن طلاب عشان يغيرون أيضا هذه الصناعة ويطورونها إلى مستوى ثاني، ويعطون أيضا عروض للطلاب قبل لا يخلصون من الجامعة بسنين يعطونهم العروض. So have you got any offers from IT companies?
Yeah, so I've got placements in various companies, international as well as Indian companies, but I refuse to take those placements, and I would like to stay back. I'm staying back here in IIT to continue with my further research.
And which year is this for you?
So it's my fourth year right now.
Fourth year of a master?
Yeah.
So you're doing a master, and where is your bachelor from?
So my bachelor's I did in mechanical engineering. I did from Kerala.
And your master?
I'm doing my master's in design, in industrial design from IIT Delhi.
Talking about Kerala, you're from Kerala.
Yeah.
You know, in this school I see a lot of different people from different backgrounds, from different beliefs.
Yeah.
How do you deal with them as students from here?
Yeah, so when I came first to IIT Delhi, it was really difficult. To Delhi, mainly, it was really difficult for me. So the climate is different, the food is different, the people are different, the language is different. Everything was different for me. It was a sort of a new kind of an experience for me. And then slowly I could cope up with all this, like the food habits and the people over here, the language. It took 1 year for me to learn the language and to talk fluently with the people here. So if you go outside IIT, you can't talk in English always. So you could really have to have a command in Hindi. So it took 1 year for me to learn this language, and then now I'm fine. I've been staying here for 4 years. It was a good journey. Yeah.
I wish you the best, my friend.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Okay. هذول الناس وهذه الفئة اللي تغير صناعة التكنولوجيا في كل العالم. الشركات الكبيرة، شركات التواصل الاجتماعي يبحثون عن شخصيات نفس أرشد عشان يوصلون هذه الصناعة إلى مستوى ثاني. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Professor, what makes IIT one of the best schools nationally and internationally?
See, IITs, like any universities, are known by its product. The product is primarily in terms of its graduates. And our graduates have done extremely well, and extremely well professionally, extremely well in business, extremely well in all spheres of activity. And this has really made the IITs famous. But if you really look upon it, if you want to look at the reasons for it, the fact that we have an excellent mechanism of selecting talent as well as ability to work hard as a basic traits by which we select our students. So these students come to the campus full of energy, full of very excellent background. But I think beyond that, I would give more credit to the faculty. The fact that we are able to attract very talented faculty globally, not just within India, because if you look at it, the last affiliation of most of our faculty is actually in US or European top universities. And this is a success which very few universities in the developing world have been able to emulate. Okay, getting the best talent back to the country, back to their institutions. And if you really would like to know the reason, is the extreme flexibility this institution has adopted in getting merit for its faculty. Okay. So whether it is in terms of selections without, even when things like connectivity did not exist, this institution would offer faculty positions to people applying. If they are applying from good schools, from good backgrounds, they would don't even have to appear for an interview. You could actually get selected in absentia. Many of our people, including me for example, I never appeared for a selection interview to be able to be selected as a faculty. This amount of flexibility that the institution, And the second thing is that the model that they adopted of actually career progression. So very early on we went to a very flexible cadre structure. What it means is people could progress in their career based on their performance, irrespective of number of positions that exist in different levels.
Right. You have a lot of knowledge from these schools, and as you said, the faculties, the staff you have here is absolutely, as you mentioned, it's what makes this school the best school in the world. Do you spread this knowledge to other schools internationally?
Yes. So nationally we have many programs. Okay, so many programs of outreach to faculty in other colleges, to also sometimes directly to other colleges. We also have created a lot of video material. There is this popular set of lectures from IITs called NPTEL, which is available globally, and I know that I myself had done a major outreach program to Ethiopia. Okay, and even in Ethiopia I came across faculty and students using this NPTEL material, coming back to me and thanking IITs for putting such material. Okay. So you yourself are from Qatar, so we have had a small engagement with Qatar. So once I was invited by the CMU campus in Qatar to give a talk, and I visited Qatar, I think around 7 years back.
I see Qatar Foundation.
Qatar Foundation. So Qatar Foundation supports the CMU campus, and the CMU had invited me to come and interact with their students and faculty. So I spent a day visiting Qatar, but that was I would say that's a small engagement.
I hope I see you again in Qatar Foundation. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. دخلت إلى الجامعة اللي أسمع عنها منذ سنوات، منذ أن درست في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وأنا أسمع عن Indian Institute of Technology لسنوات طويلة. أسمع عن هذه الجامعة اللي تأسست من قبل رئيس الوزراء في سنة 1951، وأقبلت إلى هذه الجامعة الكبيرة في العاصمة نيو دلهي، ومررت في ممراتها الضيقة اللي من 1951 لا زالت صامدة. لو تحدثت تلك الجدران، كم من العلم سمعت تلك الجدران. هذه الجامعة صدرت الكثير من الانفورميشن تكنولوجي أو المعلومات الذاتية التي غيرت مفهوم التكنولوجيا اللي اليوم نشوفه، التكنولوجيا وحتى السوشيال ميديا. فالكثير من الشركات العالمية حتى في سان فرانسيسكو والولايات المتحدة وأوروبا يستعينون بشكل كبير من الناس الذين يتخرجون من هذه الجامعة المرموقة، فالكثير من رؤساء التنفيذ في المجال الحديث للمعلومات والسوشيال ميديا أيضا يستعينون بشكل كبير من خبرات هذه الجامعة المرموقة. مشيت في ممراتها ورأيت الطلاب الذين من 1,500,000 مقدم لهذه الجامعة يقبل فقط 850 طلب، 850 من 1,500,000 طلب. هذا رقم جدا خيالي لتصفية 1,500,000 إلى أن يصلوا 850 ويقروا على ذلك بأنهم هم من يغيرون المنهج للنظر إلى المستقبل.